Fantastic. That's the level of energy we need. Welcome once again to this very special event. To tell you a little more, Ultraviolette Automotive is an innovator in sustainable mobility and energy infrastructure. Established in 2016, Ultraviolette Automotive was founded by Narayan Subramaniam and Neeraj Rajmohan. The company was conceptualized to create top-of-the-line mobility solutions that's driven by progressive design and an energy-efficient technology. Today, Ultraviolette Automotive is developing India's first ecosystem of high-performance electric vehicles and future-ready energy infrastructure. As part of the vision, Ultraviolette is today unveiling their very first product, the F77. Inspired by the innovation and engineering that typifies the aviation industry, driven by the need to design a motorcycle for tomorrow, hell-bent on challenging the status quo, and resolute about redefining electric. The result, the F77, more aviation, less automobile, a bike for the future that is here and now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the launch of the amazing F77. Welcome to an era of redefining electric. And remembering the two rules that I talked to you about, I'm going to call on stage someone very special. I want you to give them a huge, huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the founder and CEO of Ultraviolette Automotive. You all know who he is. Put your hands together for the amazing Narayan Subramaniam, everybody.
Today, that dream is reality. So, introducing the Ultraviolette F77. Unprecedented, uncompromising, the F77, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's get to some super exciting stuff of what all this vehicle can do, apart from the things mentioned previously. And I'd like to call upon to stage my co-founder and CTO, Neeraj Rajmohan, to walk you through this experience.
Awesome. Great. Awesome, guys. So I think what we're talking about here is the vehicle of tomorrow, right? And what we've seen is that all of the vehicles that have been around so far haven't sort of been built out, ground up to meet the requirements of the future. And what I'm talking about is sort of the entire experience around how this vehicle operates. And the idea here is that it needs to be smart, it needs to be seamless in terms of the experience, right? So what we're going to quickly run through is a few screens on our connected mobile app and the entire Ultraviolette connected experience. So this is the login, and once you're done logging in, this is your dashboard, right? So one of the most basic features that we felt was missing in all of the vehicles of today is something that is already there in consumer electronics. You have features like Find My iPhone, Find My Android phone. Why is it not there on our vehicles, right? So this is core to what we're building out. We've built the vehicle ground up. It has LTE connectivity. It has an embedded eSIM card. It's part of the package. And it has GPS and tracking. And at any point of time, you have a full view into where your vehicle is, what is the status on the batteries, what is the charge levels, and you can even sort of locate your vehicle in a large parking lot using your mobile phone, right? So that's the kind of design that we've done ground up. And that's just to get started. Now coming to, this is the most exciting part in terms of performance, right? Now, for us, there are different modes of riding. There are different modes, and one of those riding modes is in the city. And what you're seeing here is the insane mode of riding, where, for example, you have control on the speed. You can actually play around with the speed, the maximum speed of the vehicle. You have control on the torque and the entire torque delivery on the motor itself. And one of the most other important features here is the regenerative braking. Now, regenerative braking is quite unique to electric vehicles, right? For example, when you're traveling at 100 kilometers an hour and you brake, right, on any IC engine-powered vehicle, what's happening is that you're wasting all of that momentum and energy as heat in the brake pads, right? For us, it means that we can turn the motors into a generator, recuperate energy, and power the batteries back again. We're actually charging the batteries back there, right? And what you're seeing here essentially is the ability to control regenerative braking. So we have the ability to control different levels of feedback, how much energy is going back into the vehicle, and what is the resistance that you feel when you're undergoing regenerative braking. And just to study this, right, we ended up renting a few Tesla's P100Ds, right, driving them around the hills, and just getting the hang of it. And what we saw is that it had to be sort of that the vehicles adapt to you, right? So when you first start out with this vehicle, the F77, the performance, the regenerative braking feels very similar to what your engine braking, your cruising feels on a regular IC engine vehicle, right? But as you start to play around with the vehicle, as you get more comfortable, we start to suggest more ideas in terms of regen. And what essentially happens is, over a period of time, you start to sort of, this is a unique feature in electric vehicles, where you can actually, when you're cornering, you're actually gaining energy back into the batteries, and then you're putting them all out into the motors. So we let you play around with it, and the idea here is that the vehicle must adapt to you. It shouldn't be that you are adapting to the vehicle that is of tomorrow, right? And that's what is built out here.
This is, I think, personally my favorite part of the bike in terms of the UX. And when we started out thinking about it 3 years back, we were like, I mean, we see all these things happening in sci-fi movies, and it's about time things come into the real world. And it was outrageous at that point. We've made it happen, and let's get into how the whole modularity works and what we can do with it. Yeah, so everything is, like Neeraj mentioned, smart, connected. We're looking at an all-new futuristic experience. All I do is tap my app, and so there is provision for 3 battery modules on the F77. And like Neeraj mentioned, no hassle, as simple as removing it, inserting it back there. And each pack is 8.5 kgs. We started out with a sub 10 kg requirement, gotten it down to 8.5. Right?
So, of course, the vehicle is smart and connected. We also have sort of a manual fallback for those folks who are old school. So we have complete control on the vehicle itself. Right, so this is a manual override. Cool. So,
the show's not over. There's a couple of other things we want to unveil to you today. Introducing the shadow and the laser. There's three personalities out here when we try to outline what the product is all about. Of course, one product or one personality wasn't doing justice. So the Ultraviolette F77 Lightning is what we spoke about, synonymous with future technology. The Shadow, I think you all guessed by now, the B-2 stealth bomber, is sort of a theme behind all of the work that has gone into that. And the laser is sort of synonymous with sports. There's a lot of accessories on this. You see the wheel caps, you've seen certain other performance tuning functions that Neeraj was talking about on the Ultraviolette F77 laser. And at this moment, we'd like to call upon to stage one of our earliest supporters, endorsers, who's been in the loop with all aspects of how we've gone about doing this, none other than superstar Dulquer Salman.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So there have been many amazing early supporters of Ultraviolette. So I don't think I have any more credibility than any of them to be up here, except for the fact that I act in movies. But I think more than anything, I'm a huge petrol head. And this is such a cool company. You guys make me feel like really small, not very cool, because I don't think I can do half of the things that these guys are doing. But so how awesome are these bikes? I mean, I'm actually so full support Team UV. But this is like Tron meets Tesla. It's like built by two Indian boys, a whole bunch of Indian boys and girls. For India primarily. I've been sitting there and thinking, what all am I going to say? Because there's so many things that I want to say, and I'm so bowled over. I think we've been a part of this family from the very beginning. But it's very different when you go from just ideas and talks and saying, you want to change the world, and then you see the final outcome here. But two rock star founders who, I know they keep referring to fighter planes and aircrafts, but I feel like they've built rocket ships. Such a cool company, and I'm just so happy to be here. I feel like there's so many more things
We're
I want
honored
to
to
say.
have you as part of the whole
I feel
journey.
like I should have had a
Right from the
presentation. All my bullet points, I'm forgetting. But amazing stuff, you guys.
Thank you.
I feel like UV is going to be synonymous with EVs. I mean, EV is such a word. I feel like UV should just take over. Amazing work, you guys. I'm trying to meet the whole team. And yeah, I think they should do the talking. I want to just gawk at the bikes a little more.